Aldgirth lies in Nithsdale, about 8 miles north of Dumfries. The central part of the village is centuries old and features the Aldgirth Inn, an old coaching establishment. To the north of this lies a small 20th century housing scheme typical of those built all over Britain immediately after the Second World War to meet the critical housing shortage. To the south is a late 20th, early 21st century scheme of private housing. The A76 Dumfries to Kilmarnock road now bypasses the village as it crosses the River Nith. Aldgirth railway station opened in 1849 and closed in 1952, and it's here that I've come on the last day of March to try out my new drone, its very first time in the air. The first southbound freight train was running way ahead of schedule. I didn't have time to get my equipment set up and had to grab a quick capture facing north. We all know the dangers of maiden voyages, and whilst today's early morning flight wasn't quite on Titanic's scale of disaster, enough went wrong to make it a very frustrating experience. Here's the 0707 from Glasgow to Carlisle, the first through train of the day. The bridge in the distance is the Skew Bridge, a tricky manoeuvre for car drivers, especially at night. My regular viewers will be very familiar with the Portrack Viaduct, about 3 miles down the line from here. The biggest crane in Europe had to be brought here to assemble it in 2004, and the Skew Bridge couldn't take the weight. It had to have a steel temporary structure laid over it. Here comes the balancing service, the 0809 from Carlisle to Glasgow Central. During the earlier flights, the drone was sending me messages that the gimbal needed to be calibrated. I had no idea how to do this and did not have a handbook available. The machine was set up to capture the cement train from a low level, but the gimbal froze mid-air and all I recorded was sky. For the second time within a week or so, the northbound and southbound trains met each other whilst I was filming them. Unplanned, but a happy coincidence. A long wait now for the oil empties, coming from Dalston in Cumbria and heading to Grangemouth to replenish. But what's this? A trespasser on the tracks? The sun is up and the day is becoming warm. Perhaps the rails are warming up and providing Puss with a comfortable seat. Clearly something is more interesting than the long-awaited oil tankers. A major drawback to the old Glasgow and South Western line is the lack of reporting places. There has been no RTT report on the tanker train since Gretna Junction, 35 miles away. I get the drone into the air in good time in case the tanker runs early, but it doesn't. Eventually, I receive low battery warnings, and just as the critically low battery warning sounds, I hear the motor of a Class 70 approaching. Unwisely, I keep the drone in the air, catch a brief glimpse of the train, and get the aircraft onto the ground with seconds to spare. Titanic Mark II averted. Just. To add to the fun, my north-facing camera has decided that enough is enough. It's gone to sleep and stopped filming, so no final shot of the tankers heading north. Ah well. Thanks for watching. More to come tomorrow.